Although the G502 X gaming mouse from Logitech may not initially seem all that different from its predecessors, a closer inspection reveals several helpful updates, especially for FPS players. The already enhanced G502 Hero 25K sensor remains unchanged, but there are some significant ergonomic upgrades to highlight, along with more customizability and weight reductions. In fact, Logitech has intensified efforts to make the G502 X lighter. It weighs 89 grams as opposed to the Hero's 121 grams, a big difference. Unfortunately, it lacks the ability to customize the weight like the Hero, which would have been a wonderful inclusion, given that it costs the same as its predecessor. There have been a number of alterations made to the weight. For starters, there's absolutely no RGB or an LED system behind the Logitech G emblem. It makes sense to target the FPS audience more, even though it is a little disappointing that you can't appearance damage flashes on your mouse, for instance. At least the scroll wheel still has an unlimited scroll, albeit being made of plastic rather than metal to reduce weight. Our mutual consensus is that the old metal scroll wheel feels better than the plastic one, but neither of us is really worried by the weight of the mouse. It is a trade-off, undoubtedly, but one that ultimately serves the interests of Logitech's target audience. I found a few small differences between the G502 X and the Logitech G502 Lightspeed, my all-time favorite gaming mouse, that may not seem like much, but have an impact on the whole experience. It's interesting that there is now a removable thumb button with a rotating lip, although hand posture would also be a consideration, I guess for use with larger or smaller hands. It can be changed with a silicone button without a lip that, when spun, functions as a stopper rather than a button. It's a cute little feature that may be more useful for grippers with their fingertip. Whatever its configuration, the thumb button is a fantastic addition that gives the G502 X a little more customizability without adding bulk. The G502 X color selections are one of the more noticeable upgrades. The G502 X is available in both black and white, and both have white PTFE feet. It's an intriguing appearance decision that seems to mirror Logitech's general shift toward a wider variety of peripherals, as seen with the Logitech Color and Aurora collections, but it's stark and very likely to get messy quickly if you like to nibble at your desk. The angle of your hand is where you'll see the biggest difference. My original concern was that the lower profile shell would cause my wrist to lean heavily against the desk, but now my hand is in the proper posture. Now I get it. It has better ergonomics than the original appearance's flat front-facing hand placement, without taking a long time to get used to because it is slightly tilted, like those vertical mice that are currently all the rage in offices. Combine it with the wonderful thumb rest and longer buttons, and you get a brilliantly ergonomic mouse from the Logitech G502 family that has upgrades we didn't know we needed. The Lightforce hybrid switches are another modification that isn't immediately apparent. Because they are opto-mechanical, they combine mechanical actuation with optical speed. Even though I've been sitting here for a minute comparing the G502 X to its predecessor while appearing somewhat odd in the process, I can't really tell the difference in speed. The new switches have a significantly louder click, which is likely caused by the removal of internal parts to reduce weight. The switches also need a little bit more pressure to trigger, but you're less likely to unintentionally snipe your own teammates as a result. The G502 X Plus is being sold for $160, the wired version is $80, and the wireless version is $140. This is about the same price as the older variants. The weight of the latter increases by 106 grams over the wired version, because it is the only one with RGB. Although it's one method to distinguish the company's more practical customers from the rest, $20 does seem a bit excessive for a few RGB LEDs. For the practical and thrifty among us, the wired version is clearly the better option, and it doesn't negatively affect usage. Although it is not braided like some of the cables from the previous iteration, it is lengthy and flexible enough to neither snag or curl up. I don't think there's much to criticize about this one, although I do think that the ergonomic improvements are probably better for my hand. I personally thought the prior model was the ideal mouse, and it's almost a shame to lose the weight it had. The revised ergonomics may turn off anyone who have larger hands or don't like the sideways slant, and the weight decrease has forced RGB fans like myself to pay significantly more. However, FPS players with average-sized hands will probably be thrilled with the G502 X. None of the drawbacks are sufficient to dissuade me from using one of the best mouse lines to ever grace my desk, and the overall advancements much transcend my own preferences. I have no problem suggesting the wired G502 X at $80. It's just a little disappointing that RGB is now an additional expense. Thank you for watching this review. If you have any questions, I will expect them in the comments. Have a nice day and see you soon.